How did it all start?
It started 7 years ago when I met Francoise in my yellow kitchen in Berlin. We had miso soup.
What was she doing in Berlin?
She was in Berlin to choose a station.
A station? What for?
To write the human rights on the walls. I loved the idea of using public space for writing the human rights immediately, and was happy to say yes when she invited me to work with her. We decided it should be Heinrich Heine Straße, since he was both German and French, plus a poet and political thinker who fought for the ideas captured in the human rights. Plus, we love him.
But it is Westhafen now.
In the end, the station turned out to be Westhafen and not Heinrich Heine Straße, but we still dedicate our work in Berlin to Heinrich Heine. His statement about losing his name and identity when moving to Paris is written in the entrance halls of our station.
Here in France, immediately on my arrival in Paris, my German name, Heinrich, was translated into Henri, and I had to adapt myself to it, and had even so to style myself here in this country. For the word Heinrich is not pleasing to the Frenchman, and the French do make everything in the world pleasant for themselves. Even the name Henri Heine they were unable to pronounce, and most of them called me Monsieur Henri N. Many contracted this to Henrien, and some called me Monsieur Henrion.
So what happens to his name?
His name disintegrates in 5 steps. Heinrich Heine, Henri Heine, Henri N, Henrien, Henrien.
Hang on, let me get this. Heinrich Heine, Henri Heine, Henri N, Henrien, Henrien. The last, Henrien, sounds similar to the others.
Yes, it does. It actually is the French word for nothing. So Heinrich Heine turns into a nothing. Nichts. Un rien. Nihil.
So it is a pun?
It is a pun, but it is also a process of annihilation, Vernichtung. The name Heinrich Heine disappears in 5 steps. We rendered these steps in red in the entrance halls, and we quote them on the platform walls next to the name of the station, Westhafen. That, in short, is the story we tell with the human rights. If you don't respect what is written in them, you first lose your name and then your life.
Let's go downstairs.
Now we are moving towards the main stage and meeting the main characters, the text of the human rights.
Speaking of characters, which typeface is this?
This is the Futura, a linear grotesque antiqua from the 1920s. It is something like the Capitalis of modernity.
The Capitalis?
The Romans used it on their columns and walls in public spaces. Its proportions made it easy to read from afar. Both the Futura and the Capitalis are very clear. They are based on simple geometric forms: square, circle, triangle.
Oh, and these are also the shapes of the paragraphs. But this is not easy to read. Are there any spaces between the words at all?
Nope, there are no spaces and there is no punctuation.
Well, it certainly looks good, but aren't people supposed to read the text of the human rights?
They have time to decipher them. Remember, most of them come here every day of their lives and stare on the walls while they are waiting for the train.
Boy, that's irritating.
Exactly. Irritation is a good start. It opens you up for new things. We also give you a clue by rendering some of the words in red.
Do they have special meaning?
Yes, they do. They are sometimes positive and sometimes negative, thus reminding us of the fragility of the human rights and how easily the status as a person gets lost. Here is a good example. Recognition and annihilation stand next to each other.
It looks quite pleasant altogether. Look at these colors. There's the yellow again.
The dividing lines between the articles and the squares around the numbers are yellow. And the punctuation is yellow.
The punctuation. I thought there was none.
Yes, there is. It is just not in the text.
So where is it?
It is on the columns between the human rights walls, right on the platform.
Yellow columns?
Yes, white walls with writing and yellow colors.
So are these the only colors?
No, there is also red and blue. A narrow but visually very strong red line marks the top of the human rights panels. And Westhafen is blue. Actually, the punctuation on the columns is blue too. And there is grey and black.
I certainly see the black, but where is the grey?
The human rights letters are dark grey. They look black since they sit on white tiles. The contrast makes them seem black. Compare them to the black symbols and you'll see the difference. A trick that comes from printing. It makes the general picture softer, not as harsh as black and white.
What do the symbols stand for?
The bird, the eye, the free man, and the slave.
They look great. Do they mean anything?
The bird transcends borders, just as free individuals do. Borders are the theme of the stations in Brussels and Haifa too. The eye looks at you. Evils that are seen can be prosecuted. That's why we can talk about the eye of law or justice in German. Some associate the eye of God. For us, it is also the symbol for the scientific look on things. Stockholm Station is dedicated to the art of looking. The free man can move. You see his or her legs and arms pointing in different directions. This symbolized person stands for the happy state you are in when your rights are respected. The slave is the opposite. He or she can't move. You don't even see the arms, only the rope that is holding him or her, like crossing the person out.
There's another train coming. Is that graffiti over there?
Something like that. It is a quote by a communist killed by the National Socialists in nearby Plötzensee.
What does it say?
It says, "Everybody who truly lived for the future and died for it is a figure carved in stone." And that's what we are doing somehow. We carve figures in stone by writing the text of the human rights on ceramics where everybody can see and read them. The Nazis killed nearly 3,000 of their opponents in Plötzensee. They deported Jewish citizens from Puttlitzbrücke right above us, without even breaking the law, in the middle of the big city's everyday normality. They could do that because they did not obey anything like what would be written later in 1948 in the Human Rights Declaration.
There's another quote. What does it say?
In the pale blue spring sky, there stood a small white cloud.
That's very different from the other. Why did you pick it?
Have you noticed when he wrote it?
So, he wrote it the day he died.
A small white cloud is something you still see in the sky above Berlin on a fine April day. To us it is important to have these quotes here. The very place is special because of what happened here before. To commemorate them like this means they lost their lives, but not their names. We placed them close to the Black Tunnel, also as a reminder of how close life and death are to each other, like black and white on the wall.
There is a train coming. Should we take it?